Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to the second video of our two-video series on how to start your application process to graduate school in the US. So in the first video, we addressed the preliminary stage, that is the mental preparation that it takes to start an application process and the initial documents that you need to get ready before you start. So in this video, we'll be assuming that you have some necessary documents, say your unofficial transcript. And in this video, I'll be addressing the technical part, the technical aspect of starting application process, which basically is how to construct a good CV, the requirements it takes to complete a good CV, statement of purpose, which we'll be calling SOP, and how to compile good reference letter and emails, how to send good emails to potential supervisors. So thank you so much for clicking this video. Please do like, subscribe. If you have done that, I'll give you a minute to do that, to like this video, to subscribe. You've done that? Okay, let's get into the video then. I was talking to a friend of mine recently and she or he was telling me how she started an application process, and she went to the school website, she started an application, and then she got tired halfway. And I was like, that's not how it works. An application is not something you can do in a day. You can't just go onto a school website and start an application right away. No, there is a process, and you might end up finding out that it took you several months to complete an application, and that is totally normal. So a lot of the tips I'll be sharing in this video is dependent also on the school that you're applying to, because different schools generally have different requirements. For example, in my school currently, I've seen a lot of graduate students right here that did not have to send emails out to any professor before they got admission. So the question on whether or not to send emails is dependent on your school and your department. Alright, so now let's just assume that you are fresh to this process, you want to start applying to schools. What's the first thing that you do? The first thing you do is to find a school, and I talked about that in the previous video, how you find a school. So now say you have found a school that you're interested in. The first step that you do is to find the course that you're interested in taking at the school website. So how do you do this? People usually have problems, and I did when I was starting my application process. I had problems navigating the school website because you find that it's like a total different thing from what you're used to. So for example, as a Nigerian, there are some terms that they use for US schools that you might not be familiar with. For one, in Nigeria, we're like my department. If you want to see, say, the list of employees in that department, they will write it under department. But here, for US schools, you would get information about departments under the tab that is labeled faculty. So say you check a school, let's say LSU, you would scroll down, like you would Google LSU Department of Mechanical Engineering, and then when you click on that, you will go to the faculty. So the faculty is the list of the professors, lab assistants and all. So for your for your application process, for most schools, part of the application requirements is that you find a supervisor that you'll be interested in working with, because they do not want to give you admission to a school where they're not sure they'll be able to cater for your research interest. So you're expected to go to the faculty and go through like their faculty list, all the professors, assistant professors, staff, and then find someone that has matching research interest with you. So sometimes like they would display their research interests alongside their names. Other times you would have to individually click on each faculty's name and then look at their research interest. And sometimes just saying the label of their research interest, say I'm interested in artificial intelligence, is not enough. Sometimes you have to know what part of artificial intelligence that the person is dealing with. So you might have to check the person out on Google Scholar, on Academia, on ResearchGate, get familiar with some of their works. So let's imagine that you went to the faculty LSU, you typed LSU, Department of Mechanical Engineering, you went to the faculty and you were able to find someone that shares the same research interest that you, say data science, right? So you check this person out on Google Scholar and you look at their recent publications. What aspect of data science have they been addressing so far? Is this something I'm interested in? You get familiar with some of their works, and then it's time for you to send them an email, right? Because they have to let you know if they're accepting students for that semester, so you do not just waste your application. So they have to let you know if they're accepting students on their team, or if the department is, or if they are taking their sabbatical that year, so they might not be able to accept you or something like that. So I would usually advise people, like, once you find someone that you're interested in working with, just shoot your email. I've had people say, oh, I'm waiting for the perfect time, or I'm waiting to get my things together. It's good to get your things together, but you don't have to wait so long, because there are so many people that are applying as you are, and the earlier you let someone know that you're interested in them and they check you out, the better for you. So now that you've located someone that you're interested in working with, the next thing is to send the person an email. The purpose of this email is basically to let them know of your interest in working with them. So the email usually is just an introductory email, and it should be the start of many more conversations if the person is interested in you. I've had several people ask me, hey Oloma, can you share your email format? And most times I do, because it's nothing personal. But basically, an email should have 3 main parts to it, or let's say 4. The first thing that your email should have, as an email that is being sent by someone that is professional, someone that knows how to use an email account, is a title or a subject. And most times it's better for you to just let your email to be straight to the point and as sharp as you can, not too sharp or not blunt either, because most times, like, they're actually busy, they don't have time to start from your email to start reading what you have in your mind, your emotional state and stuff like that. It's best for you to just shoot, be direct and straight and brief as possible. So most times I would advise, what I usually use for my emails then was, as the subject would be prospective graduate student inquiry for, say, spring 2023, whatever semester it is that you're looking for. The reason why it's very important to state this semester is because the faculty might not have funding for a particular semester, or they might not be interested in taking students for a particular semester. So it's better for you to indicate what semester you are interested in. So the subject of your email, example, prospective graduate student inquiry for fall 2023. Dear Dr. or Professor Cranberry Sauce. Now the next part of your email should be introduction. Your introduction should be like a very brief summary of everything you're trying to say. Let's look at this example. Subject, prospective graduate student inquiry for fall, spring 2023. You start your email with Dear Dr. or Professor Cranberry Juice. You greet. I hope this mail finds you well, the usual mail etiquette. Then you get down to it. I'm writing to express my interest in joining your research group at University of XXX for fall 2023. So now, in the same, like, you don't have to create a new paragraph for this. You can briefly just talk about your qualifications, like, I obtained my BSc in agricultural science at University of Alabama, Texas, blah blah blah. And you give like a very brief, concise information of what you think you need to know about you. That is the school you graduated from, your CGPA is something that you're impressed about. You shouldn't add anything to this email that you're not proud about, right? So it does not just dismiss you at first sight. So if you have a very good CGPA, this is a good time to flaunt it. If you have written GRE and you got an amazing score, this is a good time to flaunt it. If you haven't done any of that, that's also fine. Just don't bring it up. So for your next paragraph, you can decide to let him know how you found out about him or not. But if you wanted to do, you can say, I came across your research at ResearchGate or Google Scholar, and I've been following your work. I can see that your research interest is in data science and analytics and blah blah blah, and you have worked on mining Sokoto field and excavating the blah 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 of blah blah blah, then you talk about your own research interests. Like, I have similar research interests in so and so. If you have your undergraduate thesis, or you have a thesis that is in that direction too, it's also a good time to bring it up. If you do not have it, don't worry about that. So yeah, I noticed that you did research in so. You can talk a bit about his research, a bit though, so the email not be wrong, just to let him know. The reason why I'm talking about his research a bit is just to let him know that you've actually done proper research on what he does and you're really interested in working with him. So my tip for you, like, if you don't know like what to say to him, you can just check out, because most times when you click on the faculty link or when you check them out on Google Scholar, on their papers you can read the introductory page and then the conclusion or summary. So it will give you an idea of what the project is about, and then you can write like 1 or 2 sentences that you think summarizes the paper. That's if you want to bring that up. Yeah. Then your 3rd paragraph should be you summarizing everything you have said, which is I intend to apply for fall for fall 2023 semester, and I was wondering, and I would love to join your team. I was wondering if you'd be accepting graduate students for that period. Then you'd be optimistic. I believe I'll be an asset to your team. I believe that I will fit just right in, and I believe that I have so much to contribute to your research work in so and so. Kindly find attached my CV and my transcript. And if you have, say, a thesis that you are proud of, or you have published something that you think he would be interested in, you can also upload it to a drive and then just paste the link. I had a friend tell me that most times some professors will not click the link because they don't know it's like going to direct them to a viral site or something. So you can decide within yourself whether you are comfortable attaching the document or uploading to a drive and then sending them the link. But my advice is, if it's a heavy document, there's no need to upload it to the email. Just upload it in the drive and place the link and let them know this is the link to the Google Drive for this. Then do not forget to thank them for their time. After you say kindly find attached, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to hearing from you. Another space, kind regards, Nkechi Mbonabe also. And that is it. Yeah, so that's how you write an email. Definitely you can get creative. I'm sure you can find more creative ways to write and send out emails. I'm just letting you know, like, if you're so confused on how to start, this is like a rough sketch, and then you can pimp it up as much as you want. So for that email, you're supposed to attach a CV. Now let's get to your CV. The first things you should know about your CV is your CV should not be too long. I did make the mistake when I started sending out emails to professors. I noticed that most of them will not even respond to me, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? So I would email most of my friends that were schooling outside the country then, and send them my CV and be like, can you help me look at this? Can you help me look at my email format? Is there something I'm doing wrong? And I would apply their feedback. So when I sent it out to one of my friends, the first thing she told me was, your CV is too long, I can't even look at it. Then my CV was like 4 pages. So she sent me a copy of her CV and I just pinned mine to that. So what I noticed was she did not, normally if you're typing in Microsoft Word, your margins are like, I think 2 inches or so. So there's a way you can play with that. So she reduced her margins so that way her words can spread out across the pages. She played with the font size a lot, so that is what I would recommend that you do to shorten it down. Also, information that is not relevant to your study, like some people, they would attach information from their primary school, like I was in Jet Club in Ojuelegba Primary School, I won Best Smile in kindergarten. I don't think that's important. So you can just, for your education, you can skip out your primary and nursery school. You can just stick to your secondary school, your university. If possible, I think you still have to bring up your secondary school. I think that's important. But there's no need for you to mention the awards you got in your secondary school. You can start talking about the awards you got from, say, your university. Also, do not be shy to talk about your social accomplishments. When I say social accomplishments, I mean if you're part of organizations, say if you're part of Red Cross or Department of Data Scientists in your undergraduate days, if you're a member of societies, you can also list that down in your CV. If you were the president, vice president of all those organizations, you can list that down. Yeah, so your CV, use bullet points, right? Make your English simple and clear and straightforward as possible, and do not feel free to reorganize your CV. You must not use size 14 font 14 for your CV. You can use font 12, and then maybe the headings can be bigger also. You can get creative with that also. For your transcripts, we already discussed that in the previous video. You can request for your unofficial transcripts from your school, and then you can be using that to email professors. When you're ready to apply to the school directly, there are some schools that they allow you to apply with your unofficial transcript, and then when you get admission and you want the matriculation letter, they would ask you to send your official transcript, so you can do with that information what you may. So now let's talk about, should we talk about reference letters first, or should we talk about SOP? Let's talk about reference letter and get out of the way. All right, reference letter. So let's imagine that you have emailed professors and you have gotten like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 have told you, oh, I would love to work with you, please apply. Some of them might get you on a Zoom call. Some of them might just tell you, I encourage you to apply, and that's it. Some of them might tell you, oh, sorry, I can't, I'm not accepting students for fall. Oh, sorry, I'm going on sabbatical. Oh, sorry, I'm retiring. Or some might not respond at all. Let's assume that some have responded and you are ready to start your application process. All this is what we do. We have just been preparing to start though. Now you're ready to start. You have decided, okay, I like this school and I've gotten someone that is interested in working with me. Let's start. Your reference letter. This would be a good time to once again remind your referees that, okay, the time has come. You send them updated CV and let them know the parts of your CV that you want them to highlight, because generally your referees will just be saying, okay, I've worked with this person, so he's awesome, he's an amazing researcher, he's hardworking, I recommend him for your school, for your graduate program, stuff like that. So if there's any part of your CV or your accomplishment that you would like them to shed more light on, you can also informally let them know. It would also be a good idea for your referee letter to be personal. So I noticed that there's some referees that they will just say, I know him, he was a student in my school, he graduated in 1998. If they can make it a bit personal, if they can make it be like the two of you were best friends, that would be nice. So people that you should consider for your referee to help you with recommendation letters are your professors in school, doctors in your school, and then work colleagues. Some schools will tell you you can have say 2 lecturers from your undergrad or your masters, and then 1 from an industrial organization. For me, for some of the schools I applied to, I had people in my work colleagues also put in a recommendation for me, so it's something that you can consider as well. Now let's get into one very important and serious aspect: writing a statement of purpose, SOP. So different schools call it different things, but the most popular thing is called the statement of purpose. And basically this is like some schools call it personal statement. Just to let you know, like, this is actually a personal statement. Is letting the school know about you, is like, let us know you. So basically in your SOP, you're supposed to talk about everything that is in your CV in more details, and then talk about the quality of yourself as a human being, as a researcher, and why you think you'll be a great fit for the school, why you like the school. So there are several texts to help you to know like how to there are several resources out there to help you draft a very good SOP. For me, LinkedIn LinkedIn. I would read posts on LinkedIn about writing a good SOP. I would read posts on Twitter. I would Google how to write a good SOP. I would watch YouTube videos. I would advise you to do the same. But there's one particular book I found very helpful. The name of the book is, the author of the book is Donald Asher. And the name of the book is Graduate Admissions Essay, 4th edition. It's a very comprehensive book. It's really big, so I know that it's not possible for someone to read the entire book word for word from beginning to the end, but you can skim through and then find parts that speak to you. In the book, there are also several sample SOPs that you can use. The process of writing SOP is not something that you can do in a day or a week. You might find yourself doing it for several weeks to months, and that is because writing SOP is like another period of soul searching. It's like, to be or not to be. Who am I? What am I? Why am I? Because you are basically trying to convince them why they should accept you for this program. I've seen very basic SOPs that are just like, this is me, I graduated in so, I got a DT in so, and I believe I'm going to be a great fit for your program. No. For your SOP, you have to be willing to let them know you. You have to be willing to like put up some of your blood inside. Like they have to feel like they know you. So like a good SOP, some people share background stories about their childhood, about their families. Yeah, very personal stories. So 2 SOPs should not look alike. I've had people tell me, hey Oloma, you've got an admission, give us your SOP. There's one person I told no. And then he told me, but what are you using it for? You've already gotten admission. Firstly, there's some information in your SOP that you might not be willing to share with just anybody because it's a personal statement. That's one. 2 SOPs are not supposed to look alike. There is a letter going around. A school, I don't remember the name of the school, they gave an international student admission and eventually they rebuked it. Why? Because they found out that he plagiarized, that he copied someone else's SOP or so. You can't just freely give out your SOP because you don't know what someone else can use it for. You don't know how that can affect you or that person. So SOP is a very personal statement. In your SOPs, you can, when you are writing your story, when practically you're like stretching out everything in your CV, and then you're linking it to why that qualifies you to be a great candidate to the school. How, say you have come through a lot, you're just coming from a lot, and it's a good fit for you, right? I've had people that got 3rd class, 2nd class, lower, get admission. Why? Because they had a very good SOP. So if you have grades that you're not proud of, your SOP is a very good avenue to address that, to talk about why you got those grades, what you were going through, mention other ways that you believe you can make up, like other abilities you have that might not reflect in your transcript. Right? SOP is like where you really talk about, like you cover every pothole that you think you might have in your application process. That is like your one chance to cover all of them. So do not be afraid to be creative, to get personal in your SOP, and I would encourage you to have friends look at it, like peer review. When I was writing my SOP, it went from different stages, right? I had the first draft, 2nd, 3rd. I ended up having more than 15 drafts. And one thing I noticed was that with every new draft, it was getting better and better and better. So do not just submit the first SOP you write. No, go back, think about it again. Think about your story, all the challenges you have faced in this life, all the bad things and the good things that have happened to you. Think about all those stuff and how they affected who you are today and how they translate to your work ethic, to your passion for this program you're going for, and how it demonstrates that you will be a good graduate student, you will be a good researcher, master's is something, or PhD is something that you need to do. So it's nothing too difficult, it's just like writing the story of your life, right? But you just have to put a lot of thoughts and creativity into it. Like I said, have people peer review it for you. Also, if you are a first generational student, it's a good time to talk about it. And when I say first generational student, there are some people that they are the first in their family, like their generation is the first in their family to go to school. Say your parents did not have any university education, you are a first generational student. So yeah. So finally, I like to talk about the God factor, because God is the author and finisher of everything. Looking back now to my application process, there were so many times that I felt I met people that were the perfect fit for me. The school was just the best for me and stuff. But at the end of the day, it turned out to be rejection, and I would beat myself up about it. But now, like from where I stand now, looking back, every rejection is God's redirection. So when you get a no, that's not the end. And always ask God, God, what's your plan for me? God, what's your plan for me? Because God might have another plan for you that you cannot just see at the moment. So please, during your application process, be prayerful. Always talk to God. Also, I've had people like give different excuses like, oh, I can't afford this. Oh, it's too hard. I can't do this. Oh, I got a 2-2. I got a third class. It's not for me. Oh, how can I get a whole USA? My dear, like I said in the first video, the first step it starts is from you, from your mind. You have to first believe that you can do this. You can do this. If you have a third class, if you had a second class lower, whatever, you can do this. All you're looking for is just one person, just one yes. One person to believe in you, to want to work with you. That is what you're looking for. So no matter how many no's you take, it's part of the process. And you're looking for just one diamond in the rough. So get ready to get your hands dirty, get ready to cry, to shalaye, to feel like you don't even know what you're doing, right? And stop making excuses. I might sound spoiled saying that, but you don't have money now, save for it. There's nothing that is a rush. If you can't afford TOEFL today, if you save 5k for a while, or if you put your mind to say, I want to save money for TOEFL, the money for TOEFL will come out. It's facts. If you put your mind, I want to save money for transcripts, the money for transcripts will come out. You don't have any excuse. If you have God, if you believe that you can do it, my dear, it's possible. So it might sound very overwhelming. It might sound, how can I do it? It might sound, I'm not always lucky. Me, I should say, I'm not always lucky. But look at me, right? It's not like now I'm swimming in wealth, I'm in peace and quiet, but I'm happy. And you know, your dreams, like your goal, this is your dream, this is your goal, it can come true too. You just have to believe and be willing to put in the work. So it doesn't come easy, it doesn't fall from the sky. It's not a rosy process, but it's also not so hard. Everything I'm feeling like Jack was like, oh my God, I have to email 1 million supervisors and I have to do this. If you spread it out through several months, because an application process takes several months. If you spread it out through several months, you might see that in a month, you're only required to take one step. You're only required to send or to do just one thing. So just anything you can do it. If you get tired, you rest. You say, I'm done with this shit, man, bullshit, what the fuck, blah, blah, blah. Later, pick it back up and see, okay, what am I doing wrong? Where did I stop? How do I continue? Because it is so possible. It can so happen to you. You are not Mr. or Mrs. Bad Luck. If it's God's will for you, it's going to come to pass. You just have to ask God, God, what do you want from me? And do your best and leave the rest to God. So yeah, this is the end of our 2-series video on how to apply to schools in the US. I hope this video was useful to you. My God, please click on the like button and subscribe. My brother and my sister, you're not against me, you're not my enemy. See you around.
Oh boy.